Hi everybody. So a lot of things have been coming up today on a chat that I helped start on a group I'm in for transitioning to plant-based, and every single topic that is brought up in question in regards to symptoms and changes and all that, every single thing has been related to gut health. Of course, I know that, but the thing is that when you look at it like this, it makes it simple. All health begins and ends in the gut. All health is regulated and mandated by the gut-heart-brain connection. A lot of people say gut and brain connection. I've learned that the heart is definitely very intrinsically involved. And one of the reasons I know this is because HeartMath Institute has discovered that our heart responds to situations 20 minutes before they happen. And as far as the gut, it's actually the first brain. And I definitely agree with the documentary that I watched about that, because of the fact that bacteria has been found alive recently in outer space, deep miles down in Antarctic ice. They made a special arm with a special heat-resistant, acid-resistant arm in a submarine, and went and found bacteria thriving in such hot acid environment that they were baffled. And the sad thing is, in spontaneous extinction, even though all of this is true, they have uncovered mummies' microbiomes, and a lot of those gut bugs are dead now in our gut. So what that means is bacteria has survived over the millennia and still is surviving all over the planet, cosmos, but our standard American diet has figured out how to kill them completely. Like there is none. They did Gut America, I think it's called, huge study. Everybody sent in their poop from around the world, or from around America, I think, yeah, America, because it was called America. And yeah, so a lot of these bacteria from the mummies aren't here that we've seen. And it was a really comprehensive study. And so each bacteria has its own responsibility and job in the body. For instance, we rely, I forget the names of the bacteria, but there's two strains that make these certain enzymes for us to digest food, that without those particular strains, we don't have those enzymes, and without those enzymes, we can't digest certain foods. So the things that I've done for my gut health is that, so let me give you a little bit of my story, just to give you an idea of how far I've come. So I started out life getting antibiotics all the time, so my dad would think I was sick. I won't get into why. But anyway, my doctor and my mom were faking like I was sick, and so gave me antibiotics so my dad would believe it. And discoveries lately. So let me just say, over the last 40 years of me trying to heal my gut, there's only been 400 peer-reviewed studies and reports on humans. Now there's over 12,000 in the last, I think it's been a year and a half. That's why I've been able to heal 15 diseases finally, and get off 13 meds and drop all this weight, 80 pounds, 25% BMI. But the thing with replenishing the gut and healing the gut and flushing our bodies with weak guts and weak systems like liver, kidney, spleen, pancreas. They're all harmonic in our evolution when we transition. It's really key to know that, okay? So let me just say that now you know that gut bugs are 33% killed by one bottle of antibiotics, right? I've had about 200 over my life. That means that I'm sure that some of them are extinct. How couldn't they not be? Anyway, even so, I've still been able to heal 15 diseases and get off all those meds and stuff. So you see, my gut being healed changed everything. In 40 years, I've had so much sickness. Like, I'm finally able to go to school and hike, and I have endless energy, and it's all because I healed my gut. And you know, just a small flare-up of one of the diseases I had been diagnosed with that is actually stress-related and energy-related. And now that I'm getting into energy healing, that's a whole nother ball game with adding to the physiological gut health, energy medicine and frequency healing and quantum energy flips, and all that took gut health to a whole new level, and I'm still massively learning that as quickly as I can. And it's actually done a spontaneous healing of my IBS and my hip injury. Like, in less than a week, my physical therapist was blown away. So anyway, just a pop about that, I'm doing a quantum energy flip workshop, and it's on my profile, the event invite, but it doesn't start June 10th. It starts this next Monday at 5:55 p.m. Pacific. If you're wanting to get in tune with a different dimension of your environment, come to those workshops, trust me. Anyway, so back to the gut physiologically is, so actually, let me switch to energy and the gut, because that is where the transformation became so much more, I don't know if easy would be the right word, but free-flowing and more intuitive, definitely more intuitive. So one of the things that, let me see if I can simplify what I've done. So if you close your eyes and drop into your body as an observer, what I mean by that is we're going to become our own scientist and our own investigator of our own bodies. So we close our eyes and we have our observation hat on, and we drop into our body as an observer, which is also called the higher self, by the way. Consciousness, whatever you want to call it, your God self, whatever. It's not our human nature that's protective personality ego. It's our higher nature. So whatever you call that for you, that's great, but that's what I'm talking about. So we drop in with that, and then just kind of feel in your body and find the area about, sometimes it's 2 inches, sometimes it's 3 inches. It's a little different for everybody, but it's our second chakra. And where it's at basically is about 2 to 3 inches below the belly button. And then if you imagine there on your skin, you can even touch it. It helps in the beginning to actually put your hands over. Women, right hand on the bottom, left hand on top helps, and then men the opposite. And then, or I don't know what for non-gender, I haven't learned that yet. I don't know if there's science. Anyway, so we're gonna, instead of feeling the energy on our skin below our belly button, we're gonna go inside and observe in the middle of our body. That's where the center lives. And there's information in that center. It's called the chakra, and they've actually recently discovered all of our chakras and probably all of our nadis, not science proven yet, but the chakras for sure all have their own brains. Now, if you can imagine that center and feel that center will give you and take information from you and for you and act upon it. So this center is for your intestines, your stomach, your liver, your gallbladder, and the feelings that increase and open, that you can sense yourself feeling to open it, is safety, security, self-esteem. So what contracts that center for the reason of survival, and what I mean by that is when our body is in stress, nowadays chronic perceived stress is the issue. That's a huge issue. That's why the energy medicine has been so helpful on so many ways. And now I'm learning about biofield medicine, which is a whole nother ballgame. Won't go there. So anyway, so what contracts that area is fear, insecurity, low self-esteem, self-loathing, suppression of creative energy. Like if you find yourself resisting creation, change, transformation, all of that stuff contracts that area. So a very simple practice is, outside of food, there's things that we can do that don't include knowing all kinds of nutrition, add this, take away that, all that. These are very simple tools. So one thing I do is I do all my chakras, but I want to just focus on the gut. So that center, if you remember a time that you were really proud of yourself and you accomplished something so amazing, and feel that energy and remember it as detailed as you can. That's thought, that's language of the brain that produces the chemical to your body, telling your body that you are currently that proud of yourself. That opens up the gut. It's a highway back and forth. The vagus nerve, vagus means long winding. The vagus nerve goes through every single solitary area all the way down. It ends, I don't know exactly where, I forget, but it ends around our pelvic area, somewhere down there. And in other words, so it winds all through every organ and checks to see if it's okay. And if it's not, it sends a message to the brain it's not okay. So when we are in chronic stress, our brain is constantly getting a message from the gut that it's not safe. And the gut is sending messages to the brain to go into fight or flight, sympathetic mode in our nervous system, to fight, flight, or freeze because it's under threat. Now, traffic does this, a fight does, anything that makes you feel stressed or you allow it to be perceived as stress, that's a whole nother layer called epigenetics. We won't go there. But let me just focus on giving you enough information to understand how your body works energetically, and you can actually change it anytime. So getting into that center, remembering how proud you are, or remembering a time where you were wrapped cozy in a blanket and felt real secure, or remember cuddling with someone you really love, anything that makes you remember feeling secure, because feelings are a language of the body, okay? And now, there's kind of a controversy, because there's brand new science that says, no, thoughts don't create our reality, our feelings create our thoughts, create our reality. So there's kind of like a flux right now. I'm going to a huge 3-day seminar this weekend about the heart and HeartMath Institute. It's a huge, massive seminar, and they're majorly into researching the heart. So I'll learn more so I can overload you some more. But anyway, so let's see, fear. So if we reverse fear, that's kind of the same with safety and security, right? So let me just say more about that. The more detailed you can give your brain, and the longer you can linger in all those energies, and the longer you can give those informations to your body. And even if you are able to sense energy in those hands over your belly, you can actually push that energy, or let's not say push, let's say give that energy information, because just a little bit about biofield energy medicine. Biofield has discovered that we are not just energy, we are information in the energy. So that's biofield. So what I'm offering is to physically give your body information that it's safe by sending it safe and secure and loving and high self-esteem information from the energy of your hands. The energy of your hands, which I'm going to increase right now. That's why I'm walking to Qigong. Amazing. Anyway, I have learned how to get so much more in tune with my energy in my hands, and it's a very powerful thing. And so giving that area energy. Another thing for anyone experiencing fear and it's manifested into anxiety or panic or catastrophizing or distrust, anything like that, trauma memories, all of that can be helped with what are called polyvagal theory somatic meditations. So a little bit about my journey with trauma and stress and anxiety and panic. Let me just give you the depth, and I'll leave it at that, is that my trauma started at 2 when my sister died, and then both my parents abused me in every sense of the word, innocence gone and everything. And it went on and on and on until 2022 was my last bout with trauma that wasn't able to be affected by what I now know. So you can see then that the fact that I've been able to release my need for 5 psych meds for that shit is pretty powerful, and it's all been since I've been doing cleaning up my gut, cleaning up my food, loving myself enough to do that, and loving my food when I make it, and making that a sacred sustenance, I call it. All of that. But the thing I love that I can do anywhere, anytime, if I'm feeling kind of sideways, is this. What I'm doing is my finger is like this, and I'm putting it in my ear, the back canal wall, and I'm rubbing it in a circle. And for me, I still have a lump there. That's my vagus nerve area, one place where I can activate it. Now, that's activating my vagus nerve to settle and send signals to settle all through my organs. And I do that until I sigh, sometimes yawn, more often swallow. All of those mean that I've succeeded. And I go to the other side. I always do both sides, actually. Now that I say that. There's a lady here, she's probably thinking I'm itching my ear. That's why I love this, because I don't mind looking like I'm itching my ear in public. Who cares? Like, deal with it. There's the other one. See? Did you see me swallow? Isn't that cool? So there's other ones, but that's the easiest one. If there's trauma in the body, if you've had trauma, that's a whole nother thing. And just to let you know, I have training in trauma-informed care as a peer support specialist. So if you do have trauma, that's a whole nother layer of can of worms. And well, let me just say, Suki Baxter /videos, youtube.com/ S like Sam, UKIE, B like boy, AXT like Tom, ER /videos. Her videos are how I got off all those meds. And okay, so another piece about my trauma history. I had trauma so bad that I had agoraphobia so bad, fear of open spaces, that I was afraid to leave my very bed to go to the bathroom. I'm not lying. It was a very sad thing, but it happened, and it's not happening now, and that's why, that's a miracle, and that's why I help you guys, because I've been there. And so anyway, I also had a history in the past of what are called pseudo seizures from trauma, and I had 36 in 3 weeks at one point. I had to wear a diaper, and I was flopping around like a fish out of water, and those are gone. I haven't had any, I haven't had any of those since 2011, but that wasn't the end of my trauma, but that was the extent of those. And yeah, it was pretty ironic. I was having to wear a diaper on a hospital bed on April Fool's Day. I can laugh about it now. Actually, it made me laugh then too. It actually, it lifted my energy then, and I started to settle down now that I think about that. God, energy is amazing. So where was I? So yeah, so Suki Baxter /videos, and it's important to not rest in history and stories very long, because it does more damage in your brain. I won't get into that now, but basically, we got 2 minutes before we start expressing genes of disease in our body with those thoughts and feelings and beliefs and actions and behaviors and all that stuff that is not serving our highest good. So, energy. With that, I've taught myself how to cry tears of gratitude in 30 seconds, actually less now. It never takes me longer than 30 seconds now, and I don't even have to think of anything, but it's a practice. Now, why the reason of that is so strong and powerful is because that is whole body. And when I say whole body, there's subtle bodies that I think are there's 7 outside of our physical body, I think, if I remember right. But now I'm learning about being 12 chakras instead of 8, so it's a learning journey. But as far as I know, there's 7 subtle energy bodies. There's the spiritual body, the emotional body, the mental body. It's okay. Like, there's a lot of bodies outside of us, and it affects it all with gratitude. Gratitude has been studied extensively. As a matter of fact, one of the tools you can do right now, as a matter of fact, Berkeley Institute, I'm doing their study right now, their research study, and they have amazing studies. The last one I did was a joy study. Oh my God, I feel joy every day now. And now this is a happiness study. And my homework last week was to find 3 people that I haven't told how grateful I am to them. And I got to do that with someone I've been searching for 47 years yesterday. He was the very first person that ever made me feel safe and didn't force himself sexually on me, even though he wanted me, including my parents. And I got to tell him that yesterday. And you can see these are tears of gratitude. Now, the power in those is they release cortisol, which is the chemical that stress causes. So it immediately releases, shuts off the expression of genes causing disease in your whole body, not just your gut. We're talking your whole body now, people, okay? And it's the second highest frequency we can experience as humans. The first being love, unconditional love. And so you see then that in order to feel love, we need to open up and feel grateful, right? So you just saw that, right? You just felt that, I'm sure. I know I still am. And then today, I know it was a practice for last week, but I couldn't think, like it took me a while, because I thank everybody. And I remembered Tony Robbins. So I actually just did my video to him today, and I know he's gonna cry if they let him see it. And if not, the 1.1 million members on that group are gonna know, because they just posted it. And I know. And that expression, it makes my energy burst with powerful emotions of transformation all through my body. Like my body is pulsating right now, people, okay? What are you grateful for today?